The following is a presentation of the Championship Racing Network.
Drivers, start your engines. Pull those belts down tight one more time, warm up those tires, hit your marks, and let's go racing, boys and girls. Nascar, Indycar, Formula One, Formula E, and NHRA Racing Talk. This is the Championship Racing Network. Now here's your hosts, Steve West and Matt Nicholson, with producer John Myers.
Yeah, gang is all here this morning, and a little bit of a different kind of show for us this morning as well. Matt and I in studio, producer John, CRN live on YouTube early, and as it turns out, short show this morning. We're going to prepare to turn things over to Grady and the crew. They're going to be doing live coverage from Darlington Raceway. Our good friend Russell set them up with a whole bunch of interviews, and it's going to start shortly after 8 a.m. Central Time. So we're going to look at some big news, got some big news of our own coming up. We're going to let you know about here as we get towards the end of the show as well. So we're not going to waste any time, shall we, Matt? Let's just get right into it and talk about everything going on in the world, huh? All right. Quick review, as we always do last week. Racing weekend, beginning with the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series out in Las Vegas. Active race ended with two Cup Moonlighters battling it out. Kyle Larson driving the number 88 for Junior Motorsports. It's cruising. Chase Briscoe moonlighting for Joe Gibbs Racing in a familiar number for him. The 19 began to try to close in, but in the end, the 88 just too much. Won by over 2.5 seconds. Was the race anywhere near as close as I kind of made it out to be?
Not really.
Well, there you go. Larson and Briscoe first and second, and then your first actual O'Reilly Auto Parts Series driver, Sheldon Creed, in third. Justin Allgaier, Sammy Smith, Jesse Love, Connor Zilic, Corey Day, William Sawalich, and Austin Hill making up your top 10. Leader in series points is Justin Allgaier, then Jesse Love, Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed, Carson Quapple, Sammy Smith, Corey Day, Rajah Caruth, Parker Retzlaff, Sam Mayer, Brandon Jones, and Taylor Gray making up your top 12. Early Sunday morning U.S. time, Formula One got in the Grand Prix of China. Well, 18 cars got it in. The four who missed out on the start, Alex Albon's Alpine was set to start from pit road, but then he had a hydraulics issue, and his day was done. Gabriel Bortoletto's Audi had to be wheeled off the grid because of a major problem, left Audi to only have one car starting the race for a second race in a row. And then there was McLaren. We'll get more into this in the news, but let's just say that the defending champions have stumbled very badly out of the gate. Mm-hmm. Both McLaren cars had to, well, one didn't even make it out of the grid. Electrical problems cropped up on both the entries of Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. They didn't even make the grid. We'll talk about that, like I said, during the news. 18 cars take the green. Almost. Max Verstappen bogged down. His Red Bull allowed several cars to pass him right off the start, and then it turned into a battle between four drivers from two teams, and they were Ferrari and Mercedes. Mercedes had the racers. Ferrari was good enough to get about 25 seconds from themselves to fifth. It showed they're really the class of the early part of the 2026 season, Mercedes and then Ferrari. Kimi Antonelli, who's the youngest F1 driver to claim a pole, now is also the youngest F1 driver to get a win at 19 years and 200 days old officially when he claimed the checkered flag. George Russell got second, but really wasn't as close as the 7.5 second gap to his teammates might suggest. It was due to a mistake by Antonelli late in the race. Lewis Hamilton claiming his first podium finish for Ferrari and his F1 record 203rd career podium finish. Was trailed by teammate Charles Leclerc. It was the Haas F1 of Ollie Behrman in fifth. Nice run for him. Pierre Gasly, Liam Lawson, Isaac Hajar, Carlos Sainz, Franco Colapinto made up the top 10. So George Russell continues as your points leader over Antonelli. Then the two Ferraris, Charles Leclerc, and then Lewis Hamilton. Ollie Behrman's an early fifth in the driver's standings, trailed by defending champion Lando Norris, Pierre Gasly, Max Verstappen, Liam Lawson, and then the rookie Arvid Lindblad filling out the top 10. Team standings, Mercedes with a big early lead over Ferrari, and then McLaren, then Haas F1. You know, not bad considering that McLaren didn't even start this race. Yeah. They're still third in Constructors' Cup points. Haas F1 is fourth. Better than Red Bull.
That's wild.
Who would have thought that?
That is wild.
Granted, it's only by 1 point, but still. Then Racing Bulls, Alpine, Audi, Williams, Cadillac, and Aston Martin are still the scoreless teams and the only 2 scoreless teams on the year. From China, we go to Texas, the inaugural Arlington Grand Prix for IndyCar. And we have something in the point standings that, well, we haven't seen since June 22nd of 2024. The man who's leading the points, not Alex Palou. Huh. Well, hey, had to happen sometime, I guess. The man who pulled off the feat claimed his first ever win on the Texas Street Course, ultimately getting the win under yellow. It's Andretti Global claiming actually 2 of the 3 podium places, finishing 1, 3, and 4 on the day. Kyle Kirkwood bested Alex Palou for the win. Will Power, Marcus Ericsson, Pato O'Ward, David Malukas, Christian Lundgaard, Scott Dixon, Alexander Rossi, and Marcus Armstrong making up the top 10. And with that, Kyle Kirkwood takes a 26-point lead over Alex Palou at this time. What that tells me is Kirkwood's had a much steadier beginning to the season than Alex Palou has.
He has been consistent, no doubt. That incident at Phoenix that Palou had when he decided to cut off Arenas VK and put himself in the wall. You take that away right there, you pretty well got a dogfight.
Yep, pretty much. So we shall see how it goes. We're working, by the way, hard on trying to get the YouTube feed up and rolling, so we apologize for that if you were hoping and waiting for that. So anyway, Kirkwood, 26-point lead over Palou at this time. Pato O'Ward then is third. Joseph Newgarden and Scott McLaughlin. David Malukas, Christian Lundgaard, Marcus Ericsson, Marcus Armstrong, and Alexander Rossi make up the top 10. Your rookie standings, Dennis Hauger's up on Kyle Collette. Mick Schumacher is third. Honda has taken over the manufacturer's points lead over Chevrolet. And then we head back to Las Vegas. That'll be the Cup Series race there. Denny Hamlin, at about this time last year, and really actually much later on in the year, he was kind of the ultimate black hat kind of racer. He was the driver that everybody loved to hate. And they all showed it by booing him mercilessly in each and every pre-race, each and every time he won, up until it was found out right about the time of last fall's Las Vegas race that his father was suffering from some severe health problems, and it seemed like things suddenly switched when it came to Denny Hamlin, and the black hat went off, and suddenly he was a good guy again.
Yeah, it was. It's been an interesting swing.
It really has. That really became very apparent in the 2025 season finale when he just missed out on the championship, and it was backed up when, despite getting nailed for a pit road speeding penalty early in the Las Vegas race last Sunday, Hamlin was able to work his way back up through the field, got the win Sunday afternoon. The cheers rained down on the man who was so recently that man everybody loved to hate, claimed Cup win number 61, breaks the tie with Kevin Harvick at the number 60 there, so he's at number 10 all by himself. Hamlin beats out Chase Elliott for the win, William Byron third, followed by Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Chris Buescher, Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, and Brad Keselowski in the top 10. Toyotas showed out. 5 Toyotas in the top 10, 3 Chevys, 2 Fords. Does Toyota have Vegas down kind of like Ford has Phoenix?
At the way the season started this year, I think Toyota's got everywhere down so far.
Yeah,
honestly.
That's true, too. You got a point.
Honestly.
Tyler Reddick, point in hand, maintains the overall points lead. Bubba Wallace is back in second. Ryan Blaney falls to third. Then Denny Hamlin up to fourth and Chase Elliott in fifth. Rest of the 16 who would make the playoffs if they started this weekend: Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Preece, Michael McDowell, Carson Hocevar, and a very, very bad day in Vegas, dropping Shane Van Gisbergen, who came into the race running 5th in the points, all the way down to 16th. That shows you the big swings that we get early on in the year when you have one bad race, and he had a bad race. I think he finished dead last on the day, didn't he?
Yeah, he had that early race spin and got a little bit of damage and really never got the car back underneath him.
Yep. So unfortunate, but that's the way that it goes, as they say sometimes. We'll see whether he can rebound or not. In Darlington, which, by the way, that's where racing began actually last night. Craftsman Truck Series running the Buckle Up South Carolina 200 at Darlington. Matt, not really a big surprise as to who ended up in victory lane, I guess.
Nope, Corey Heim won it.
Corey Heim. The part-time Truck Series driver, who is, by the way, has announced he is running for points, apparently, in the Truck Series. Yeah, he ends up winning.
Yeah, because he had He had 70 out of 76 possible points last night.
Can't get much more dominant than that.
Yeah. Hey, it was, well, where'd the page go?
That's always a good question.
Here we go. Let me go back to it. Yeah, he made a good clean. I mean, they had a late race restart. I saw the last 3 laps of the race because I was involved watching a top 5 sporting matchup in Auburn on TV last night, baseball. He had fresh tires on a late race restart and charged through and made a last lap pass going into turn 3, and it stuck. Ross Chastain had the race in control, but Ross ended up second, Christian Eckes third, Caden Honeycutt fourth, Connor Mozak fifth, Christopher Bell sixth, Grant Enfinger seventh, Joe Rosero eighth, Daniel Hemrick ninth, and William Sawalich 10th.
Okay.
And the top Dodge was A.J. Allmendinger in 11th.
Dinger filling in. We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Chandler Smith, your early leader in the points, 172 to 139 over Caden Honeycutt. Lane Riggs is third, Gio Ruggiero fourth, Ty Majeski fifth, 6 through 10. Christian Eckes, Ben Rhodes. Oh, by the way, there's Corey Heim. He's in 8th. Andres Perez de Lara 9th, and Justin Haley in 10th. As for the rest of the weekend, this morning, pretty much as if we were doing our normal time, right as we would have gotten into our second hour of the show, Formula E will begin. It is the Madrid E-Prix, 14 turn, 2.44 mile long Del Jarama course in Madrid. This is going to be kind of a form of what Formula One is going to run when they get there, beginning later this year, I think it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Formula E actually gets a chance to do it first. And again, this is them going to the longer courses. Granted, they won't go to the bigger power until next year in Formula E, but they are starting to go to longer courses, and thank you.
Right.
You know, I'm sick and tired of talking about you doing 13 turns over about less than 1.5 miles.
Yeah.
You need to go longer. You're a race series. Let's go. Race is going to be shown somewhere, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central Time. Later today, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series gets on the track at the Darlington Raceway for the Sport Clips Haircuts VFW Help a Hero 200. How many times do you think that's going to get said in full?
It's been quite a few times.
You think so? Okay.
Quite a few.
I mean, at some point in time, I might just kind of cut some of that down, just saying. I might do Sport Clips Haircuts one time and then the VFW Help a Hero 200 later. This will be on the CW and MRN radio. Again, we do race start time, not pre-race coverage start time, because radio and TV tend to be different. 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Central Time. IHRA getting both of their drag racing season and their inaugural stock car series season rolling. Drag race is going to be happening in Benson, North Carolina's Gallat Motorsports Park. The Outlaw Nitro Series finals take place later today. Stock car series gets things rolling at Pulaski County Motorsports Park in Virginia. Evening race on the short track. Both late model sportsman and pro late model is going to battle it out this evening up there. Mm-hmm. Sunday's racing gets rolling with the NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series getting into action at Firebird Raceway just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. Going to compete in the FMP NHRA Arizona Nationals presented by NGK Spark Plugs. Gotta love the amount of sponsorship there, too. On-track action gets underway at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central Time. TV won't get on the action until after the Cup Series activity is done. Coverage set to start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1 or whenever Cup Series coverage wraps up. Which brings us to the Cup Series. They get rolling at Darlington Raceway. This is the Goodyear 400. Fox Sports 1 and MRN Radio starts 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central Time. Fox Network has back-to-back Major League Soccer games airing instead. So generally, when Fox puts the Cup Series on the main network, we see between 3 and 3.5 million people on average watching. It's going to be very interesting to see how many people watch Major League Soccer. I'm thinking probably not as many as Cup.
Probably not. But, considering ESPN done the same thing to a top 5 college baseball matchup last night.
Why should we be shocked?
No.
Yeah. All right, so that's that situation. IndyCar, Formula One have this weekend off as they travel to their respective places. Formula One's going from China to Japan. IndyCar is making their way from Texas. Roundabout way, they'll be at Barber Motorsports Park next weekend. All right, so let's get back into this situation that you mentioned where A.J. Allmendinger was the top finishing Dodge pickup truck. This is the first time that Allmendinger has driven a truck on an oval in, I want to say I heard 20 years plus.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So
It's been a long time.
Not a bad deal. He did pretty good, finishing 11th.
Yeah, he held his own.
Yeah, so congratulations to him. But why? Because he wasn't supposed to be in that truck. He wasn't supposed to be in any of the 5 Dodge or Ram trucks this weekend. Which truck was he in, you might ask? Well, he was actually subbing in for a guy by the name of Daniel Dye. Yeah. You know,
I'm sorry, but this kid needs to go.
Yeah.
He needs to go.
I understand where you're coming from. You think about what we saw. And this is now 6 years ago. 6 years ago when Kyle Larson was doing some iRacing stuff and he said something that got him suspended and basically fired from Chip Ganassi Racing.
Yeah.
And one would have thought that we would have learned by that. That what you say in very public forums has consequences.
Yep.
Now, if we were to turn the mics off and Matt and I were to just have a face-to-face, one-on-one conversation, nobody else knows about it, but I say something stupid and it makes Matt mad, he has every right to take it out on me. Mm-hmm. But it's not in a public forum. It's between him and I.
Right.
And his problem with me becomes private. When you go onto, what was it, a podcast, I think it was?
No, it was on an app, like a streaming app.
Streaming app, there you go. Daniel Dye goes a little too far. And as John very appropriately put it on our YouTube page, if you know what FAFO means, which is a word I can't use, we'll just say futz around and find out.
Foxtrot Alpha, Foxtrot Oscar.
Yeah. You know, screw up and find out exactly how bad things are in this day and age where, yeah, are we a little bit overly sensitive? To a certain extent, sure. But at the same time, understand this isn't the best look, okay? Daniel Dye gets suspended for comments regarding IndyCar driver David Malukas. A video dropped on Tuesday. Dye used voices, including an imitation of Malukas that made hints about and implications about Malukas' sexuality. Well, Callig has suspended Dye, who was then also subsequently suspended indefinitely by NASCAR. He needs to go through sensitivity training. This is something Kyle Larson had to do too. Dye wasted very little time posting an official apology online in both written and video form. Said, I chose my words poorly, and I understand why it upset people. Sorry to anybody who was offended. That's not how I want to represent myself. I have some close friends in the LGBTQ plus community and who I would never want to feel less of themselves because of what I said, and that's exactly why I should hold myself to a higher standard.
If you've got friends in that community, why would you even say that?
That's the question, isn't it?
Why? One, I mean, you would have thought he would have learned the last time when he got suspended from ARCA, of all things, because of a fight that he got in his school. And hit another male individual in their southern region. Let's say that.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and give the details on this, and I'll let you finish. Again, as he noted, the second time in Dye's NASCAR career he's been suspended. This was 6 years ago is what he's talking about. He was 18 years old. Then he was racing in the ARCA Menard Series, arrested at a Daytona Beach high school, charged with felony battery, reportedly approached a classmate, hit him, we'll just say below the belt, caused a major medical situation for the victim. Dye got reinstated when the charge officially got lowered from a felony to a misdemeanor. And that's the only reason the suspension was lifted. If that charge had stuck, I wonder what would have happened.
He sure wouldn't be in that seat right now.
No, and shouldn't be.
He shouldn't be. I saw the comment made on social media. Daniel Dye Daniel Dye's career wouldn't amount to one of the natural rings around David Malukas' pinky finger. Skin ring. The rings are a ring. That ring, right? Well, I don't know why I'm even holding up the camera.
Our video is not working. We have the pictures up there that go along with it, but you just can't see us.
Ring around the joint of your finger.
Yeah.
I mean, and then another thing, and I got to give insane kudos to Brent Cruz. Brent Cruz was in this video with Daniel Dye. Okay? But Brent Cruz kept his mouth shut.
Yeah, which he needed to.
But when I seen the video and the quote in the video from Dye, a direct quote from Dye that said, "I think he plays for the other team," unquote, I knew right then he's gone.
Well, and here's the situation. What business is it of yours? Who the heck cares?
It doesn't matter.
David Malukas isn't going out and forcing his life or his way of living upon you. What do you care?
I've said this, but I've said this very statement before on our platforms. I do not care. If I am a team owner, I absolutely do not care under no circumstances if you are white, black, Asian, Hispanic, African. You live a heterosexual lifestyle, you live a homosexual lifestyle, whatever lifestyle you live, whatever you do, male, female, I don't care. If you are qualified to drive my race vehicle that I own and you can put my race vehicle in victory lane, I do not care what you do and how you live your life outside of when you're in the seat of my vehicle. Mm-hmm. I don't care.
Yeah. And I'll put it to the other side of it and base it upon what I just said. I personally don't care how you live your life.
I don't either.
Okay? Here's the thing. I'm not forcing the way that I live on you.
Right.
And as long as you don't force the way that you're living on me, I don't care. My rights stop at your nose and your rights stop at my nose. That's the basic. And otherwise, just have respect for that person as a person.
Like it's simply put, you don't bother me, I don't bother you.
Yeah. And in the grand scheme of things, you might actually be right. David Malukas might have more talent in his pinky finger than Daniel Dye does in his entire body. We'll see what happens. Keep an eye on it throughout the course of time. Also, something else we're keeping an eye on, that vertigo situation that Alex Bowman's dealing with. We got an update on it. That's coming up right after we take this break.
Stay right here for more on the Championship Racing.